difficulties, and then we went on break, and now we are back into the thick of the extremely exciting adventure. You could cut the tension with a knife. As Weathering goes to talk to Barkus, first mate of the ship, carrying dire news. Barkus is looking at the starboard side of the vessel where some of the damage from the previous day's combat had been poorly repaired and then made even worse. And he's looking at it and sort of, thought I asked Sarah to take care of this. You're gonna have to put another crew on this tomorrow, I guess.
He's the orc, right?
Nope.
Barkus
is an elf.
Okay, great. Sounds good. And I come up and, patiently wait for him to be done with whatever, but let him know that I'm there waiting.
I hope you're all enjoying the sound of our neighbors playing their music outside in their cars. He says, Weathering, this is your crew, wasn't it?
And
repairs on this?
Weathering looks it over. Oh, it looks like it was. We should address this again. I'm not sure who did this part, but we can.
You agree then that it's not up to our usual standards?
I definitely agree. I see what you are saying, sir.
That was my fault.
Yeah, but you're not there right now. He tells you, take care of it.
Done. I'll get on it immediately after this. I have one quick thing to talk to you about, if I may.
Go ahead.
Sorry, real quickly, remind me, Dwight, your character's name?
Fennetir.
Fennetir. I was with two of the sailors and the cleric Fennetir came to me and asked me to basically help them beseech Oberon for favor on our trip. I said, sure, that sounds good. To my surprise, he actually came in a vision to me and the cleric we both saw and told me how he would give us a blessing of good hunting for Kraken. We need the head of a leopard bear off the starboard side of the ship and the head of a bat dolphin off the port side. I am not exactly sure how to get those or if we have something like that, but it would certainly go over well with the crew at the least, not to mention the blessing from Oberon for us to be able to do that. So I would recommend that we do that. And then also, there's one thing he said that I didn't understand, but if you possibly do, you could tell me. He said that the Claberman is not in service elsewhere and will be sent to us.
His arms go from their crossed position, where they usually are, to down on the hips. And he says, I've heard of various different kinds of charms with hanging different body parts of various cloudy sea creatures off the sides of vessels in order to beseech the favor of different gods. I didn't really believe in it, but if you say so, here.
If you're willing, I'm happy to take charge of it. You don't have to do anything. I'll just do on my own time. I'll hunt those off the sides of the ship or whatever. Whatever you say is good.
Yes. I'll tell you something. We do frequently come upon schools of bat dolphins. They will sometimes follow the ship. If you get some of the salted pork and hang it off the back, I'll give you leave to take a small portion. The smell will sometimes attract animals, and the schools of bat dolphins sometimes do. The ships are interesting, I suppose, and they'll follow them. So you might try that. Leopard bears are fearsome predators, and I wouldn't like to come upon one, but if we do, you're certainly welcome to hunt it. Sailors are always hanging strange charms and putting strange tattoos on themselves to get good luck. This is not out of the ordinary as far as I'm concerned. You have my permission.
Thank you, sir. And I'll prioritize the repairs first, of course. If, with your permission, if I need to take a small boat or something with one or two other sailors to get the bat dolphin, for example, is that acceptable?
As long as you don't, if we're already stopped for something, you may feel free. If we're doing a night side watch, got someone lowered over the side, or if we're doing repairs that require us to stay still, you may feel free as long as it doesn't impinge on your other duties. But while the ship is in motion, please refrain from such excursions.
As you say.
All right. Anything else? The day is drawing towards noon, drawing towards lunchtime.
Watherin's just going to get about first getting some people who get together and fix better repairs on this, and also as he does that, asking about the Clobberman. I don't know, whatever.
Clobberman. I don't actually know.
Can Mal roll a perception check to see if he notices what Malmer and Finitier have been getting up to?
Oh yeah, you see them on the deck doing this. You're out about your business. You see them in their little circle.
I think I might, if they're doing stuff and they're in my group, I would certainly come over and put an ear out and start listening.
That's our street fireworks. They love setting off fireworks.
Oh my.
Yeah, we're right in the middle of the city. It's a weird habit, dangerous. So I'm just gonna put an eye out. But you can. So what you see is two sailors from other crews, and your harpooner, who is kind of an uptight fellow, doing a ceremony with the ship's priest. It's not really. So what I'm saying is that it's not like a your crew event. There's only one member of your crew involved in it.
Right, but wait a minute.
You can certainly. I think we've already played it, and you probably can't interrupt. But you could.
No.
You could go up to somebody afterwards and say whatever.
Watherin, I noticed you performing a ritual. Did it turn out well?
By the way, Watherin, Malmer did pretty good at the board placement exercise, so maybe you get him to help you.
Yeah.
Mal was actually going to bring that up to Watherin. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just going to say also one more thing. I have a paladin ability of divine sense that I get after a long rest restores. I get a couple of them. So about twice a day, Watherin uses that, and he can detect good and evil around him. So
within what range?
It says as an action you can detect good and evil. Until the end of your next turn, you can sense anything affected by the Hallow Spirit, no location of Celestial Fiend Undead that's not behind total cover. That's all it says, basically. I guess kind of near me, and as an action.
Okay.
And I can detect good and evil. He kind of always does it as a habit, like once in a while, because he's all intense.
It's sort of part of your regimen of spiritual exercises.
Yeah. It's sort of like a mid-morning prayer, mid-afternoon prayer type of thing, which leaves him one that he can use sort of at will any other time. And then after the long rest, each day he does that.
Okay.
So I'll leave that to you to whatever.
So you're probably not going to set it off like right now.
Okay, sounds good. Something like 10 a.m., 4 p.m.
Okay. Yeah,
right.
Just let me know when you're doing it.
Okay.
Or let's
10 a.m. and right after breakfast, right before dinner.
Okay. Sounds perfect.
Cool.
Yeah,
it went
Al,
pretty.
what do you say?
It went pretty well. I'm happy to tell you all about it. I actually could use some help with an extra chore if you're willing. I'll tell you while we do it.
Certainly. I was meaning to talk to you actually. The work that we did yesterday was, well, the materials were excellent, but somewhere before the end of the task, things did not end well. I would hate for that to reflect poorly upon us as a crew.
I appreciate it. That's actually what we're going to go address right now. So
I was thinking perhaps we could partner up and ensure a higher level of success for each of the individual steps.
and
So
Watherin has already started walking towards it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sure. I'm ready. He's politely walking
Did
towards
us to pair up to do each of these steps so that we can get advantage to do,
Sure.
so that we can share the load.
Yeah,
Okay.
I get it.
Sure. Fitting the new piece in cannot be done that way, just because different people have to take on different roles.
Okay.
But you can cooperate on finding and removing the damaged piece,
Okay.
and also on
The best man for the
finding
job.
a suitable replacement piece.
Okay.
Okay.
So roll perception.
Certainly.
5.
8.
Or well, if you're going to cooperate, then it would be one of you rolling with advantage instead of both of you rolling, whichever of you has the higher modifier.
+2.
+3.
Go for it.
Okay.
Roll one more time, Josh.
Alrighty. Here we go. That would be a 18.
Okay. Then sleight of hand.
I've got a 3 for that.
Same.
Okay. Well, then why don't you do this one? I'll help you.
With advantage.
Not natural 20.
Okay. Yeah, you guys are able to remove the piece that was first sort of incorrectly placed and then further damaged by Fennetir and Tashash's tomfoolery. And yeah, you've got the piece out, and then you can examine the gap with an investigation check.
Now that I've got a +4.
I've got a +0, so go for it.
Alrighty. Let's see here. That would be a 12.
Okay. Then Arcana. To go into the hold and find the suitable piece.
And for Arcana, I've got a +4.
0.
Okay. So please, if you will, help me. That's a 21.
Okay.
That's the check that I instantly crushed every time.
Yeah. So you're able to find what looks like it'll be a suitable piece. Go ahead and both of you make me a perception check as you're on you're carrying this piece of lumber up out of the hold. It's awkward to like carry a big thing in this anti-grav environment. You've got to like pull yourself along and pull it with you, and something that's awkward like this is a little difficult. But it's not you don't have to roll to successfully get it up onto deck. But I would like you to each roll perception checks separately.
It is taking up the lion's share of my attention. That was a 10 for me.
17.
Weatherin, you see something that is out of place down here. I think that there's like maybe in the side of some of the sailors' cubbies, there's like a plank that's like a little bit at a little cattywampus to the other planks around it, a little out of place, as though it had been like yanked out and then nailed back in incorrectly.
Okay. Are we at a position where I can ask Malmer? Is that your name? I forgot. Yeah. Yes, Malmer.
Yeah, at this point, Mal has encouraged people to call him Mal for short.
Mal. Are we at a place where I can hand it off to Mal and say, hey, I'm going to do one quick thing down here. Will you finish taking this up? Is that a legitimate thing for the task at hand right now?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
It's
I
fine.
want to do that, have him go, and I'm just going to go over and kind of pry the board under the... I am ostensibly fixing something that was poorly put on there, but I know that I'm not really doing that. But I've got, a couple of
Right.
tools, hammer or whatever. So
Okay. Yeah, when you start messing with this, it comes loose, and you see that somebody has made a little like a hidey hole behind the wall that there are 4 hand crossbows in there of a design that you do not recognize.
Okay.
They're not. You are very familiar with the
Martial
maybe
weapons.
not very familiar. You're not you're not in charge of this, but
Sure.
you're familiar enough with the ship's equipment and armaments that you know that these are out of place. They don't
Yeah.
belong here.
How big are they? Like, I mean, are they? The hole
They're
has
not the
to.
big, huge ones. They're like the regular ones that they give to every kind of NPC has them.
Okay. Can I conceal one on my person?
No.
Okay. In that case, I will.
What about, he's got stuff, right? He's got tools and whatnot. Like, can he conceal it within a bundle of his stuff?
Yeah, you could find another place to hide them if you wanted to take them out and hide them elsewhere.
Yeah, I don't actually want to hide them elsewhere. I just want to take one of them and seal it back up so there's 3 still in there, and stash the other one in an appropriate and meticulously hidden place, because he does everything meticulously, and also quickly, because I want to get back up to Mal and finish that.
Sure. I mean, I think your go-to place would be your own cubby. Every sailor figures out how to hide stuff in his own little spot. You've got like your own trunk or your own bag, and you know where you can like stick something back there so that nobody will see it unless they are like searching your stuff.
And Watherin brought a lockbox with him. That's what he keeps all of his. He has chainmail and some other stuff. So I want to stick it in there, finish with Mal, and would like to tell Barkus about it.
Yeah, go ahead and each of you make an athletics check, and then each of you make a nature check to fit the new piece in.
Okay.
Okay.
Athletics
I
9.
Banging around on the outside of my.
You definitely hear them banging around.
Hey, what's going on out there?
You probably noticed that it's better repaired, right?
Y'all fix the puzzle.
Yeah. And I give credit to Mal here. I got a 9 on my athletics. And what was the other thing?
Malmer, what was your athletics? And then
16.
nature. Okay.
16.
Nature.
Yeah. Yep, nature, each of you.
An 8.
Now, is this something that we do together or something that we do separately?
Each of us.
This is something that cannot be done together. There are different parts of this task. You're on separate sides of the thing. You can't get advantage.
I'm sorry, say that again?
You cannot get advantage. You do have to roll separately.
10.
Okay. Yeah, it's better than it was before.
Is seeing that it's not awesome, which Watherin can tell because he's a perfectionist, can we try again?
No, not right now.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine. As we were doing all that, I convey the basic.
This is as good as you can do with this piece without doing the whole process over again and taking another, hour or whatever.
Okay. So as we're doing that, I tell Mal the gist of what Oberon told us in the thing. I don't specifically mention Leopard Bear and Bat Dolphin. I just said he told us to hang some parts of some animals. I'm going to hunt them later. If he's interested in that, I'm happy to help. And also,
Mal definitely perks up. Go ahead.
Okay. And I also ask, by the way, Have you ever heard of the Clobberman?
Overman.
Roll religion.
Yeah. Good time to roll an 18.
Why would you want to
20.
roll an 8 in particular?
With a 20, you do know that the Clobberman is a legendary trickster spirit that you've heard of on ships.
So Oberon himself is going to send a trickster to our aid.
I didn't mention that. I mentioned the head of the thing, and then I said, "Have you heard of a Clobberman?"
So
Yeah.
you know what the Clobberman is, and I'll tell you what you know about it. You know
Okay.
that the Clobberman is
Well, here's what I know about the Clobberman. The Clobberman is
he's sort of one of those trickster fairies that will help you if you help him, and also if you obey some very specific rules. So you have to leave a little bit of food for the Clobberman each night. You got to put it on the very front tip of the boat, of the ship, like where the mermaid would be.
Mm-hmm.
And the rule is that anybody who sees the Clobberman has to pretend not to have seen. If the Clobberman senses that he has been spotted, he'll leave. But while he's there, he brings good luck.
Okay. And thanks, Mal. That's really helpful information. Watherin is aware that he has a single point of information and will continue to ask further about other people. But in the meantime, Mal spoke with assurance. He has no reason to think otherwise. And so Watherin's going to take it upon himself to, one, leave food every night on the tip of the thing. The other thing, the prow or whatever.
Yeah, the prow.
And then also, having heard this, Watherin is going to innocently ask other ones about the Clobberman and tell them, not really explaining much, but just saying basically like he was praying and Oberon said that he was going to send, this basically helpful spirit, but you got to, if you see him, pretend not to see him, right? I want to spread that as a rumor among the crew that there's a helpful spirit from Oberon coming, but the rule, he's not going to tell him about the food, but the rule is you got to never mention that you've seen him.
I think Mal, in the course of talking to Watherin about this, would definitely say we should enlist the help of the priests. The men will listen to him. He has authority on matters of spiritual import. So
I absolutely agree, and I'm willing. I know that he already heard that, but so now we have information about it. So I say, yeah, we can definitely go tell him about that. So we can do that. Or maybe I can have Mal do that. But I need to tell about the crossbows.
Okay, yeah. Mal can go and talk to
Mal, in the course of that conversation, would say, "You absolutely have my spear when it comes time to hunt the leopard bear."
Great, and I'll call on you when it's time. I've already talked to the mucky mucks about it.
Cool.
Okay.
So you're going to Barkus?
I'm going to go Barkus, tell him, hey, I addressed the shoddy workmanship in there. There's still some more improvements. I'm going to do that on my next free time. But, it's better than it was, and we're going to make one more set of improvements. And I have something urgent that I'd like to tell you about.
Okay. The arms are back in folded
Great.
position. I'm glad you took care of it. I'm sure it's fine for now. What's this urgent matter?
And I just look around, make sure we're relatively private, and I tell him I was down in the quarters and I saw something out of place. I don't know if it was during the repairs of the ship or not, but I saw a set of some weaponry that isn't part of the ship's stock as far as I'm aware. I put it back where it was. I wouldn't want it to be moved or anything, but I took one of them. It's in my quarters right now, and I am happy to show it to you. I don't recognize the make or the build. and it doesn't look like it should be there. So I don't know what to do with it. That's your job, not mine, I guess. But I want to let you know. I do that in a paladin way. Say it again.
Take me to the place where you found it.
Sure. And I take him down and go pry the thing up, show it to him.
Mm-hmm.
If it's still there, I show him.
Yeah, it's still there. You see you show him these crossbows. He takes it, looks at it, says heaves a sigh, he's frowning very deeply.
Watherin would like. I would like to try to figure out if he's sighing deeply because I discovered it, and he's a part of that, or if he's sighing deeply because there are weapons, and see if I can scrutinize him at all and figure out what's
insight check.
Insight check. There. Sorry, keyboard again. Should have gone with the keyboard one. Just kidding. I got a 1.
Okay. He just sighs. You don't know.
Okay.
But he does. He's after the long sigh. He says, "Sailor, you're entrusted with a good deal of authority on this ship, but you are not in charge of everything, and I expect you to follow orders."
Yes, sir. What should I do with the?
that.
What should I do with the removed crossbow?
Take the crossbow, put it back where you found it. Take the board that was out of place and fix it up. Nail it back into place so that nobody will find it like you did.
Aye, sir.
Tell nobody about this. Forget that it ever happened.
Aye, sir. You're in charge.
He goes, "Yes, I am. Yes, I am." He turns and stalks, as well as you can stalk in anti-grav, up out of the hold onto the deck. You see him go in the direction of the captain's quarters. Although you can't actually see that from your perspective.
Sure.
But maybe you hear his footsteps going in that way.
And I just promptly do exactly what he said.
Does anybody have anything else that you'd like to do for the rest of the day?
9!
I would like to go to sleep.
Okay. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, what's Tashash been up to for this time?
Tashash has been hiding somewhere in the hole.
You've been hiding for like all morning?
Yeah, pretty much.
Sarah.
After he reported to Sarah that he had finished his assigned task of fixing Finiteers. I do want to know, like, does he, over the course of, or just, does he find out about this whole thing with the Clobberman at any point? Because Watherin was spreading word about it, right?
You were hiding though, right?
Yeah. So I'm just wondering if at any point he hears about it.
Probably not. Not yet.
Okay. Cool.
So you're hiding and you're not doing any work.
Yeah.
Okay.
He might even have fallen asleep.
Sarah comes and fetches you out.
Did she find me?
Roll stealth.
All right.
Okay. Roll stealth.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, 23.
Now I have to look up Sarah's stats because the second mate of a ship on her own ship rolls with advantage to find people who are hiding. And she did, and she rolled a 20, and
Was it enough?
and her let's see,
Modifier.
I guess it's investigation, right? Because she's looking for somebody who's hiding.
probably.
I'm gonna say it's investigation, so that's intelligence. Oh no. Yeah, you rolled a 23 to hide.
Mm-hmm.
She's not able to find you.
Yep. Okay.
How long do you hide?
I think he hides for a while and eventually falls asleep,
Okay.
and then yeah, just whenever he wakes up, he'll come out of hiding.
Um, how long do you usually do lizard people usually nap for?
Well, this
This is
isn't
a
a normal. This isn't really a normal nap. We don't usually
right.
nap during the day.
Okay.
He's been a little stressed out, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna say roll a d4 for the number of hours that you sleep. Does that sound fair?
Sure. Yep, that works. 3.
Oh boy. You're
Oh no, he
asleep.
probably hides like for an hour or two and then sleeps for a couple hours.
Okay. Um, Sarah. So this everything that happened has happened.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you guys are going about your business. It's lunchtime. Tashash, you've missed lunch.
Yep.
Sarah comes to where
Tashash has his stash of barnacles. He eats them when he wakes up.
you
Just
haven't
to be
woken up
hungry.
yet.
Okay.
Uh, Sarah comes to Weatherin and Malmer, where you are grubbing down, munching on some hardtack and salted pork, and your water with a little grog in it to render it not quite so nasty and rancid. It's been actually, it's still pretty fresh. It hasn't been that long. You don't need to put the grog in the water to make it palatable. But Sarah comes to you and says, "Have you seen the lizard man?"
I believe that the priest put him on some R&R. He was a bit stressed.
He was. I advised him to go to the priest, but I haven't seen him for a while. Do you know where he is?
I do not.
Hmm.
Would you like for me to look for him?
Not as of yet. I'll ask Fennetir, see if he knows. How about you, Weatherin?
I haven't seen him.
Interesting. As you were. Uh, How do you eat lunch, Fennetir? Are you with the sailors? Do you take lunch by yourself? You could. So you are one of the few people who you could have lunch at a different time and it would be fine. Everybody else has to eat on a schedule, but you could. I mean, you don't get to eat with the mates and the captain. That's like a ceremonial dinner with like full elven regalia and ritual, and you're not invited to that. Well, you're all elves, but um, I mean, not to Chach, but you're not invited to the captain's mess. But you're not also not constrained by the schedules that constrain the other sailors. So how are you doing lunch?
How am I messing? Well, I mean, I want to talk to people.
Okay. So you're among the sailors, eating with
Yeah.
them, chatting, talking. Good. Uh, Sarah comes to you and she says, "The I sent the lizard man to you. What did you do? How did that go?"
I don't remember. Did Did he talk to me?
He came and
Tried
shoved
to
your
fix. He
chest
tried
into
to
a
shove
hole in the
your.
wall.
He tried to shove the chest out of the hole in your
Uh,
wall.
Is this Fennetir saying that he doesn't know, or Dwight?
This is Dwight.
You had a whole scene where he tried to shove your chest
I
out.
remember that. I didn't
Okay.
realize that
But I
was
think I
him
think
being.
canonically it works really well that Finnetir looks at her like, "Did he come see me?"
Yeah, I
It does.
Finitier also. It's both.
She says, "Yes, I sent him to you. Did he not? Did he not show up?"
Which one is Finitier?
You're
You are
you
Finnetir.
That's your name, you drunkard priest. Are you 3 sheets to the wind at lunchtime?
No, just like 1.5.
Well, listen, the cook's the one that's pouring the lunch margaritas. I
There
Which
was
one is the lizard man? I
there was
can't
a
remember.
sailor on this vessel
Okay,
who
yeah,
had
I'm coming
scales
back.
instead of skin,
There
like a
was,
lizard.
yes, I remember that. He came into my room and tried to shove my chest out into the sea.
He has a tail. How did you miss him?
Told him not to shove my chest out into the sea, and then he left. That's the last time I saw him.
Did he say anything?
Something about a hole in the world, I believe, I recall.
Hole in the world. Oh my. Well, okay. Why don't you come with me? Yes. Why don't you come with me?
Okay.
And she takes you and goes to Barkis. And she says, Sir, I'm afraid we have a bit of a discipline issue. I don't know how you want to handle this, but one of your sailors has not been working all morning. I can't seem to find him anywhere. The last one to see him is the priest. He was acting very strangely, and I sent him to Fenetier
Yes,
for
he
an
was.
attitude readjustment. He says that he attempted to throw the priest's chest out through a hole in the wall into the sea, and then he ran off. I am quite worried about him, that he may have gone overboard, or that something terrible may have happened to him, or possibly he's drunk and shirking his duty. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure he's not drunk. He's trying to
And
throw all my liquor overboard. I think he might be
and
a teetotal.
Barkis says, I've been suspicious of that fellow. He's foreigners, you know. They, the arrow is the word I think we came up with. He's an arrow. You can never can tell. They have this strange psychology I've heard. Now let's go find him. And the first mate and the second mate together do not need to roll to find a sailor on board their ship.
Can Mal make a perception check to see if he notices Finitier emerging with those two?
With the sense that all people have in the workplace, when something is up and one of your fellow employees is in trouble, that radar goes off. You need not roll to know that Tashash is in trouble with
Have I woken up yet?
with the mates. You're still asleep. It's been like 2 hours into your hiding, and you rolled what, a 3 or something?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. So you're still napping. Where do you think are you in the hold? Did you find are you in one of the boats? Did you find like a coil of rope to get in between? Like, you hid really well. You hid
Yeah.
very, very well. The hold is probably the best place.
He might.
There are water
Okay.
casks you could hide in.
What about the bilge?
Marsh creature? Oh, the bilge, you think?
He might be hiding.
You're in the swampiest, nastiest place in the ship. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
The
eventually
lizard.
they come knocking I don't even really know what the bilge is. Dwight, what's a bilge?
It's
Pumps, go ahead.
yeah, I mean, a bilge pumps out the bilge. The bilge is just right at the very bottom of the keel in a boat. I'm not really sure what one would be like on this boat.
Yeah, actually.
Water. But, you know.
So there's maybe
lowest
like
part.
the bottom of the hold, with the anti-grav, it's not, they leave a little space in the bottom of the boat, in the bottom of the ship, where that the anti-grav doesn't quite reach. because you want water, any rainwater or whatever that comes down into the hold, to be able to flow to the bottom, and you don't want it sitting around in big globs in the middle of the air forever. So there's sort of a drainage system, and there's sort of a place where it pools in case you need to gather rainwater, I guess.
That's where Tashash is.
And Tashash has found this like very bottom place.
Yeah.
Probably under the floor. It's probably like under the floorboards. And there's probably boxes on top of those floorboards, and you've like wriggled down deep into there where it's wet and maybe a little mildewy.
Yeah. I know this is not a place where a sane sailor would be going to hide to shirk his duties. This is like, I'm imagining this would be a very miserable place to try and hide.
Yep.
If you weren't a lizard. I mean, Tashash goes there because he's a lizard and he lives in a swamp.
So here's what happens.
Mal notices this, right? Mal is going to try to make a stealth check to try to sidle up next to Finnetir. Without.
So you're going to follow Finnetir and the first and second mate like down into the hold?
Yeah, Mal is trying to get up alongside Finnetir stealthily in a way that the first mate and captain do not. Or who is it? The first mate and who?
It's not the captain. It's the first mate Barkus and the second mate Sarah, who's your direct superior.
Yeah, so it's the first and second mates. So he's going to try to get a word into the ear of Finnetir.
Go for it. Make your stealth check.
17.
You're good.
As stealthy as I can do.
So when you come upon them, they have just sort of spied something out of the ordinary, where some of the boxes on top of the floorboards that Tashash is under have been moved aside a little bit. They're a little bit out of place, and one of the straps is loose that would keep them down. So one of the boxes is floating a little bit in the anti-grav. So they've floated up to there, and you're able to float yourself next to Finnetir, and you can whisper in his ear without them noticing if you want.
He's gonna try to make a persuasion check to try to say, Finnetir, don't embarrass us all. Don't you remember? You told him to go get some much-needed R&R. You told him to find a quiet place and sleep it off, remember?
I mean, I don't think this is a situation where you would do a persuasion check. I think that Finnetir can just decide how convincing this is to him.
Okay, and, well, he's going to say, Finnetir, remember I told you that I had that special bottle? And he basically... Mal promises Finnetir all of the fine, delicate spirits that he brought on board with him. He tries to put it. That's the persuasion part. Is he's trying not to offend Finnetir with a straight up bribe, but he's trying to say basically, remember how I told you,
I don't think we need a role. I think we can let Finnetir role play that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not here to persecute anybody. What are you talking to me for?
I know, but remember, Tashash came to you and
shoved my chest out the wall.
Right, and you told him, go chill out. Remember, I heard you shout it. You said, go chill out.
I was trying to stick his tail to the floor.
So it seems like this subtlety is not going to stick in Finnetir's lunkish head.
My booze if you tell him you told him to take a nap.
Wait, you're gonna give me some booze say that again?
If you tell them you told Tashash to take a nap. Gravy.
Gravy here. I'm remembering a little bit more.
Hey, Finnetir, are you trying to have this conversation quietly without the first and second mate noticing you?
Not really.
Okay. They turn to you and And
I'm
Barkus,
not trying to out old Mal over here, but I'm also not.
Well, he didn't raise his voice until he suddenly recalled.
Yeah. Oh yes, yes.
Barkus says,
I'm getting more of my days are in and out for me. Sorry, guys.
"How useless are you, man?" says
I'm
Barkus.
not.
"Tell me
You
what
remember
you
when I
told."
set that seagull on fire?
Ah, he's right. That was my first experience with this man, is that he set a seagull on fire. I suppose this is what we should have expected all along. Tell me, what is going on here? Where is my sailor?
The lizard man came to me. He was very upset about something, and I told him to go take a break. He needed to hide, and he's a lizard man, so he probably slithered. Lizard sounds like slither. Uh,
Okay, wait. Uh, so
That's
Barkus,
right. I heard him. I heard him from outside the door. I was concerned for my crewmate. I'm giving him advantage on this.
and when my officer, the second mate of this ship, came to you, priest, and asked you directly what had become of our sailor,
uh-huh.
you told her that you did not know.
Yeah, did you ask any of the other things that I said before that?
He turns to Sarah, and Sarah says, "I think he's drunk. I think he's very drunk all the time."
I'm a high functioning drunk.
And Barkus,
Malmer points out that certain religions require a certain level of inebriation.
so Barkus shoves the box out of the way. He reaches down. Tashash, you are awoken by a very strong arm gripping you under the armpit and yanking you upright. Fennetir, he grabs your shoulder in an iron grip and pushes off with his feet through the anti-grav, up to the ladder into the hold, carrying you both with him.
It's fun.
Throws you both onto the ladder in front of him,
Mm-hmm.
stamps down on the ladder with his feet, and shoves you both up onto the deck underneath of him. If you're going to resist him, you can roll whatever against him if you want.
No, I go along for the ride.
I feel like being woken up like this very abruptly and then launched into null gravity would not help Josh's
Do I notice that
mind.
using my medical knowledge?
You notice, I mean, Tashash's frill is probably going crazy. His eyes are probably darting. But at this point, he's sailing through the air.
Tashash panics. He
He
wakes up like he's
good.
full on. He's full on animal.
Not how you relax a lizard.
And like when once he like manages to shake the sleep off, he just goes he's gonna try to I guess what he's gonna his frill goes just big, like all the way up, and he like he's gonna get a hold of Barkus and and like pull himself right up into Barkus's face and go and it like he's trying to shock Barkus into letting go of him. Like, it's his like animal intimidation. Which I guess intimidation. There is a thing for that.
Yeah, you can go ahead and roll intimidation, and you have like a special skill for that. You have a special skill?
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
I mean, aside from being a lizard, no.
Weirdo.
Here we go. It's an 11. So he probably just looks like he's kind of flailing around. And obviously, Barkus doesn't know what it means when the frill goes all the way up.
Oh, his frill's all the way up, Barkus. That means that he's upset.
I don't care if the sailor is upset. I'm upset. Get him up on the deck. And Sarah goes and she starts shoving you from below as well. And Barkus shoves you, and you go. And
when his initial intimidation tactic doesn't work, Tashash just freaks out. He starts kind of struggling and thrashing, but like very, very wildly, not like
intentionally to harm, but he's just freaking out.
But he's just freaking out. I mean, you hear him
exactly
and like gibbering things. You hear him talking about the hole in the world and why is the sky upside down and how did they I tried to fix it. I tried to fix it. I tried to fix it. I fixed it. Did I fix it? Where is it? Where is the sky?
So are you actively resisting their attempt to forcefully push you up through the hole up on the deck?
Yeah, he's trying to get away.
Okay, so make a strength check.
Let's see. Is it strength check? Okay.
Mal is definitely trying to get involved here. I didn't want to talk over anybody.
Yeah, they're tussling. What do you do?
Yeah,
what was your strength check, Tashash, first? What was
19?
Okay. Yeah, he's flailing around like crazy, and Barkus, and they're all floating, and near the ladder that goes up from the hold to the deck of the ship, and Barkus is trying to get a hold of Tashash, but he keeps getting pushed out of the way by the tail and the hands, and he's spinning around, and Sarah's also trying to, and they're grabbing onto like ropes and things. And also, Fennetir, you're very close to all this because he pulled you up with him. But right now, Barkus has let go of you, and you're floating nearby to all this. Okay, go ahead, Josh.
I think Mal is going to shout to Barkus, "Respectfully, sir, control your crew with words, not your hands. You woke the man up and you startled him. He's already mad. He's not your enemy. He's just startled. Let go of him and back up and speak to him. You'll find him quite reasonable."
That's going to take a persuasion check.
I would imagine so. Good time to roll a 19. 23.
Barkus looks at you with a scowl.
"Lizard brain, sir. Lizard brain. You woke him up and startled him. He's simply agitated."
He puts an arm out to.
When he turns to look at Mal, Tashash gives him a big shove.
That's fine. Mal will ragdoll. Mal isn't.
No. Tashash gives Barkus a big shove, trying to get space.
Yeah, you push Barkus away. Barkus yells, "Sailors, come here! Restrain this man! Restrain this man!"
Can I get out of the null grab? Like now that I'm free, I'm gonna try and get out of the null grab.
Yeah, you can go scuttling up the ladder.
Yep. Oh no, I'm gonna go back down to the bilge.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Dive back down the bilge.
You pass Fennetir, and you pass Josh's character Mal. Either of you want to do anything? He's going past you. Weathering at this time, you hear the first mate bellowing from down in the hold of the ship, calling for sailors to come and restrain somebody.
Yeah,
I
I cast the arms of Hadar, and black tentacles erupt from me, and he needs to make a saving throw, or he's going to be grappled by these black tentacles.
Strength.
Yeah.
Okay. Nope. That's 8.
Yeah.
So what does the arms of Hadar look like when you cast it?
So basically, something that looks like black squid tentacles come erupting out of me and wrap themselves around him. The arms twist around and the suckers latch into him. And unfortunately, it does do some necrotic damage to him, but it's my best bet for restraining him
How much?
and trying to keep him from being further, uh, you know, punished, apprehended, resist. I'm just trying to keep him from resisting the crew because at this point, no damage that I do to him is going to be worse than what he does to the crew.
Tashash at the with the um with the once he's when he once he is
Restrained.
yeah, once he is restrained, like I mean I imagine like like he struggles pretty hard against this, at least initially. But you know when it and you know there's lots of yowling and hissing and there's a lot of that, but very abruptly he just goes still and the frill contracts and just rigid, and he's just
He no longer resists.
yeah, he stops.
Okay.
Yeah,
Whether
it's
or
like
not-
he goes limp. The fruit.
But he doesn't he doesn't go limp. He's very stiff.
Well, stiff, yeah.
If anyone tries to talk to him, he won't talk to them. He doesn't respond.
That's fair.
Gone totally feral.
Varkas has caught himself and steadied himself in the hold. He's looking at where you've cast this, like, frankly, pretty nasty looking spell
Yeah.
that has caught Tashash up, and he says, "Well, you restrained him.
Please, sir. Manacles. I don't want to keep holding him like this.
Yes, let's put them on, Sarah." And Sarah claps you in irons.
I would like to cast Calm Emotions.
Oh,
On myself, dude, because like I am not chill right now.
Yeah,
Um,
calm emotions would have been great, like 5 minutes ago.
Wait a minute, I'm a cleric?
No,
What?
but yeah, go ahead. Yeah, what does it do?
Marcus, why didn't you cast Calm Emotions?
20-foot sphere around. I'm trying to get everybody who's involved in this.
Yep.
They have to save Charisma 10, or they can also choose to fail if they want.
Okay.
And then they are indifferent about what's his name? Lizard Man. Gravy.
Josh, gravy.
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 They feel indifferent about him.
Yeah.
Okay. Barkus. What save is it?
Charisma 10.
Your DC
Oh.
is 10?
So he rolls an 11. Barkus maintains control of his emotions. Sarah does not, and she becomes swayed by the spell. I think Malmer, you're affected by this as well.
Sure.
Go ahead and roll that save.
Oh, and then I guess on Tashash.
Tashash, go ahead and roll as well.
But I'd like to use the frighten effect or unfrighten him. I suppress any effect causing Tashash to be frightened.
Okay. Yeah.
Mal got a 22.
So Mal, you can resist if you want.
Mal would prefer to maintain control of his emotions. He's already not angry or upset or freaking out. He's doing
Do I
it
need to roll?
out of cold.
Yeah, you need to roll a save versus dispel. It's a
You don't have to, you can choose to fail.
Oh, you can choose to fail if you want. If you want to let
No longer be frightened.
Venatir is casting a spell, and you can choose to let it sway you, or you can resist it.
I got a 12. I think he would resist it.
He does so successfully.
He's very wound up.
So you're still struggling. Sarah has.
Well, no, he's not struggling.
You have the manacles on.
Yeah. Gone
Um,
rigid.
Barkus and Sarah and Barkus says, "Get this man up onto the deck," and he climbs up onto the deck himself. And Sarah says, "That tentacle thing was weird. Grab him with me," and she grabs his feet.
All right, I take him on the other side.
And you two haul him up onto the deck? Yes? Okay. When you get up onto the deck, you see that a lot of sailors are standing around looking at you. And you see that Captain Gorio has also come out of his cabin. Big black boots, big black beard. He's holding a harpoon with all the tangle coils attached to it. And he's glaring sternly. And he says,
when they get him to the, it's going to take them some effort to get him to, I mean, he's not going to start flailing, but, he's going to go, they're going to have to push him out the door.
That's fair.
Just, turns into
if you want to resist in the manacles, you may roll strength with disadvantage, and they will roll with advantage.
Yeah, okay. I got a 16.
Sarah is struggling to get it to help.
I got a 14.
Some of the sailors reach down, and one of them is very burly and strong, and another one of them is also burly and strong, and a third one, but you're able to overpower a fourth one, but three of them grab you and just haul you up on the
The
deck.
big burly one gets...
He slaps you in the face.
Can I bite him?
Roll attack.
Can Watherin see this?
Yes, Watherin can see this because something has happened.
Yeah.
But we're going to narrate what has happened after we finish with just a second.
Okay, I'd like to cast a spell if possible.
You have seen a bunch of stuff in the last 5 minutes that they have not seen.
I have?
But yes, you have.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Tashash, make an attack roll. With disadvantage.
Oh. Could it get worse than that? Yes, it could. I got a 7.
You try to bite him, and he headbutts you really hard, and you take 2 hit points of damage.
Ow.
And then you are manacled and on the deck. There's sailors all around you.
He's probably he's dazed from the headbutt.
Yep. And
he's out of it.
Anybody who is paying attention.
You need to, sorry, real quick, Dave, you need to also take 6 points of damage from the arms of Hadar. You took 6 points of necrotic damage.
The captain says, "Barkus, I don't have time for nonsense like this. Did you not hear? Men, sailors all, to your boats. Get your harpoons ready. Didn't you hear? There's been a kraken sighted.
I turn to Marcus and I say, I will take full responsibility for him. Put him in my boat and count all of his sins against me. But I will take him into the fight with me.
Marcus is running and gathering up his crew, and Sarah is standing there, and she has the keys to the manacles, and she has been affected by Fennetir's Calm Emotion spell, so she doesn't care at all what happens to Gravy, and so she says, fine, here's the key if you want it. I don't care about this guy, but we've got a kraken to catch, guys. Let's get after it. And that is where we're going to end episode 4. Let's do experience. Quick. We're late.
Oh, my word.
I love it. I love it so much. Did you take any risks to help your friends or shipmates?
Gee, I don't know.
Will you run through this like per person, so we can just go bam bam bam? One person says it all.
Yeah, Dwight. Did your character take any risks to help your friends or shipmates?
Yeah, I lied about helping the lizard out.
You did lie for your friend. Mark 1 experience. Tashash, did you take any risks to help your friends or shipmates?
He probably thinks he did. He thinks he did something very significant in trying to fix the hole in Fennetir's wall, and he thinks he actually fixed it. He doesn't realize he didn't do anything.
Do you get experience points for flailing around psychotically? I mean, sure, you can have an experience point for that, but just being mad, if you're going to be a madman, you're not going to get delusion experience points very frequently.
Experience, the role it plays, right, in D&D experience is giving you wisdom for how to do things in the future.
Yeah.
That's the role of experience.
You think that Tashash was motivated to help his friends.
So the whole thing with the hole, he got okay. So his thinking throughout this episode has been he got very disturbed when he saw the tree canopy collapse last time, and that giant hole open up. So this whole time he's been trying to fix holes.
That sounds great.
Holes in the world, and he thinks he's that hole is a serious problem for him.
Yeah, Mark and experience, I think. And Weatherin, go ahead.
About helping people.
Yeah.
Yeah, the couple of different things, but basically reporting the arms to the upper people, doing the whole thing with the god to get his favor. I mean, all of it's helpful.
Yeah. Was any of it a risk? I suppose reporting...
reporting is a risk because I am aware that there's something like a brewing mutiny or something maybe.
Yeah. That would feel very risky. So I think you definitely get to mark experience for that.
Cool.
Yeah, and Josh, definitely mark experience for taking a risk to help your friend or shipmate. Is there any special way that you helped in the hunt for Enma the Silver Squid Weatherin?
Yeah, I implored...
You sure did.
Oberon.
I think that you sort of twisted that for your own personal quest. I think that if you're going to get an experience point, you should take your experience point for a personal quest for that particular action.
Okay, is that a fate thing or is that a regular experience?
Regular experience.
Okay, so then the other thing was...
If you can come up, if you want, you should try and come up with another way that you helped in the hunt for Enma.
Yeah, well, one of them was that I was out looking for squids with my navigation equipment. I mean, Kraken. I don't know if that'll count or not.
Sure. Since you haven't explicitly done that before, I'll give you a point for that.
Cool.
But that's not like recite these words my character looks for
Yeah, yeah.
Kraken over the edge with his navigation equipment. Bing, experience point. Like,
Yeah, I get
you
it.
can have it this time, but Tashash, any special way that you helped in the hunt for Enma the Silver Squid?
Really.
Fennetir, any special way that you helped in the hunt?
Yeah, I helped with that ceremony.
Now, from your perspective, I think that it was. I think because Weatherin was deliberately twisting it towards his own quest, he can't count that as this particular question. But I think that you can. From your perspective, it was to help with the hunt for the silver squid. And then Malmer, any particular way, any special way that you helped in the hunt for Enma the silver squid?
Yeah, Mal tried to get involved in the quest to acquire charms, boons, and to help with the come on, curmudgeon, kludgeon, kluger,
Okay.
calder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clobberman.
He offered both to help with the hunt for the charms and to help with the ship-wide boon, that whole
Yeah.
situation. Okay, go ahead.
Good. Weatherin.
Yeah.
That's all four of you, right?
Yeah.
Yes, good. Weatherin, did you advance your personal quest? I think yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Because you talked to oh no, you should mark a point for this for changing the direction of the ritual so that you were asking for
Yeah.
your own personal thing instead of
Yeah.
Tashash, did you advance your personal quest at all? Get the ship any closer to Nebulaster's perch in any way?
I don't think so. I don't know that I really did much.
Fennetir.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
did plenty. You did plenty.
For
did
that.
great. Fennetir, did you advance your personal quest? I think you did.
Trying to get Pond to help, although I don't think he helped that much.
But mark an experience. Malmer, did you advance your personal quest? I
Yep.
think talking to Kalerk
Yep.
definitely counts for that. All right, here we're going to do fate points. Did your attitude towards fate complicate your life in a meaningful way, Weatherin? I think it was part of your dialogue with your god, and I think that it's impinging on your faith in a serious way. So
Yeah.
I think you can get 1 fate point for that.
I was angling for that kind of mode. Also, with it, that's what I was hinting at when I said if they're paying attention, they'll hear that I'm being somewhat cavalier with their lives. You know, in the way I was beseeching. I don't know if they did or not. But.
Yeah. Tashash, because you threw over so much of this episode to Tashash's
Tashash went into
I think that this is your fate complicating your life in a very meaningful way, like getting in really big trouble for it. I think that 1 fate point is not nearly enough, and my thinking was that I would let it, if you did it like an extra super episode like this, I would let you roll a d4. But I think that for all that you did, you should roll a d6, and that's how many fate points you get for this.
All right. I got a 4.
Dang.
Mark down 4 fate points. Fennetir, did your attitude towards fate complicate your life in a meaningful way?
Yeah, I have to keep myself toasted a little bit to make it through.
Oh, so your drunkenness and not being able to remember your own name.
Yeah.
I think that got you in trouble with Barkus, and it might have hurt your reputation with Barkus some. So I think that you can give yourself a fate point for that. And Malmer.
Yeah. So the reason why Mal said what he said at the end is because his attitude towards fate is fate be damned. If I have my allies by my side, and if I find a way around, if I have my allies by my side, I can find a way to defeat even fate. And so that's why he stuck his neck out for Dashash the way that he did and said, make me responsible for him, but put him with me and let me have him.
Okay.
Let me have him next to me in this fight.
Give yourself a fate point.
I was working overtime to try to score to get all 4 points on the board tonight.
Yeah, you all did a really good job tonight. I'm really happy. I know we didn't have any combat or exploration. Really, it was a very social episode.
We did have combat.
I got hurt.
Combat.
The kind of us took damage.
Oh, by the way, and Dave, make sure that you keep track of that damage stays there until next episode.
Yep.
Because that's going to be how Tashash starts off, and make sure that the spell slots that you expended are still expended at the beginning of the next episode.
Yep.
Hopefully, we will make up for the lack of combat this episode with our first ever Kraken hunt in episode 5. Oh, by the way, nobody got the secret XP point this time. In episode 5, we will have our first serious Kraken hunt. So tune in next Monday at 7:30 to the Starfall Collective for that exciting piece of adventure. And remember, failure is beautiful.